Welcome to Mind Over Matter. My name is Kelly, and I wanted to talk to you for a second today about delusion and illusion and the beings behind this, right? They usually call themselves warlocks or witches or whatever. I personally don't do spell work. Not my thing. I think that if you have to manipulate someone into having feelings for you, who would want someone that wasn't interested in them, naturally? Like, it's just not my thing. To each their own. But most of these people have a lot of the same characteristics, right? And one of the characteristics I wanted to talk to you about is the shadow projectioner. So I'm going to lay some groundwork, and then I'm going to circle back and tie it all together, so you'll understand what I'm talking about. Sorry if this is confusing. This is completely unplanned. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Spirit woke me up and told me to start talking about this. So I took some notes, and here we go. I can't hardly see, so I'll try to do it. All right. One of the most dangerous psychological mechanisms in human relationships is dealing with the shadow projectioner. These people seem charming, articulate, and with general concern for others. But they're not. When someone projects their shadow onto someone with absolute conviction, that's what a shadow projectioner is. They project their shadow onto somebody else with absolute conviction. And what I mean by shadow is their own denied characteristics, believing themselves to be an innocent victim. And a good example is this: have you ever had a friend or a partner and say they hated their dad, but they're just like their dad? They just don't realize it. They're like, he's this, he's that, but they're the exact same way. They don't see it. So that's a form of shadow projection. Unconscious shadow projection with absolute conviction. When someone projects their shadow with absolute conviction, their brain literally rewrites reality to support their distorted perception. The same neural networks activate during delusional states. So this is the same neurological mapping as psychosis, because in other words, that's what it is. Scientifically speaking, of course. The person is not consciously lying. The brain has altered their perception of reality. This is why they are so convincing to others. They genuinely believe their distorted perceptions because their neural filtering system has been hijacked by unconscious content. This is where it gets dangerous. The projector's conviction creates what is called a reality distortion field. They don't just see you incorrectly, they convince others to see you through their distorted lenses as well. They destroy relationships, reputations, and entire social networks simply by spreading their unconscious projections with an abstract, absolute certainty. They accuse you of motivations you never had and intentions you never possessed. The stronger the projection, the more convincing the projection comes. This is a psychological feedback loop that can trap entire families, workplaces, and communities. This is Carl Jung's scientific work, but before he ever published anything on this, it's old ancient wisdom. Buddhism speaks of darkened mirrors. And this is when one reflects one's own impurities as foreign objects. Christianity warns about seeing the speck in another's eye while missing the beam in your own. So this is ancient wisdom that these illusionists, these dark magicians, warlocks and witches existed way before science caught up for it. And this is just kind of the breakdown scientifically at how this works. A lot of times you'll find this in like extremist or cult leaders, you know, things like that. Shadow projectors don't just misperceive reality, they create alternate realities that feel completely real to them and increasingly real to others. You will notice complete disconnection between how someone describes you and your own internal experience. They attribute thoughts, feelings, and motivations that appear nowhere in your consciousness, and do it with such certainty that you start to question your own reality. This is psychological gaslighting at its most sophisticated level. Not conscious manipulation, but unconscious reality distortion that can drive targets to genuine psychological breakdown. Bully on crack, narcissist on crack. You know, combine that with occult knowledge, very scary people. I'll continue. The projection itself isn't the real danger. The real danger is how the shadow projectors unconsciously recruit others into their distorted reality. There's a large part of the collective that's dealing with this, and this is the groundwork for where I'm getting to, so bear with me. This is called collective possession. Possession when entire groups begin seeing the world through one person's projection. And then this creates a cognitive dissonance, which then creates psychological pressure to align their perceptions with projectors' certainty rather than trust their own contradictory observations. I'm going to repeat that. Creates psychological pressure to align their perceptions, the people they recruit, with the projector's certainty rather than trust their own contradictory observation and experience. This is how families turn against scapegoated members, workplaces mob innocent employees, communities destroy individuals based on projected accusations that have no basis in reality. The projector becomes the center of a psychological storm, unconsciously organizing others into attacking the very qualities they cannot accept within themselves. They do not just project their shadows, but they create entire social systems organized around their projections. The projected on person then becomes isolated, gaslit, and eventually broken by a collective delusion they never participated in creating. These people are purposely creating collective delusions and collective possession, right? Think about it. Combine that with the knowledge of black magic, spell work, occult sciences. These people are scary, terrifying. All right. They want their target completely broken. Well, having a completely broken target is absolutely ideal when doing spell work, black magic, voodoo, any of the sort, because when the person is broken or traumatized, it creates soul fragmentation, right? When soul fragmentation occurs, it opens up, sorry, this is really complicated in the science of it. Like, it would take me all day, so I'm just trying to sum it up. When you inflict trauma or someone, it kind of opens up a gateway, which is also called soul fragmentation, to insert what it is you're trying to bind on the individual's spirit, okay? So these people are purposely, very intentionally trying to get you in a dilapidated mental state, right? They need the soul fragmentation to happen. That's how they attach the entity, the binding, energy harvesting, all of it. They have to have you upset and traumatized for it to work. So They will recruit friends, family, neighbors, community people to participate in this, because these are psychopathic, psychological disorders combined with occult sciences. Super creepy, super scary. So, is that all of it? I don't think so. Yeah. I just wanted to talk about that, because if you're watching this video, there's a chance that you have a shadow projectioner in your midst, or you could be the very shadow projectioner yourself and really have no idea that that's what you're doing. But it's exactly what the case is. So it's just crazy how people can know you for years, and then somebody who's not even in your life convinces those same people that know you of things that they've never actually personally experienced, because of the psychological pressure of the certainty of the person projecting the said idea on them. So just a little food for thought. Maybe digest what it is I just said, because there's a huge amount of relevance. I'm going to do another video on soul fragmentation and soul retrieval, because it's a very big thing. And with Neptune retrograde in Aries, I believe there's a rise in cult activity, extremist groups. Is really big in the collective consciousness right now. So stay aware, stay vigilant, and protect your mind. You have television, media, news, radio, everywhere trying to absolutely 100% control your reality. You know, inject subliminal messages, ideals, conditioning, you know, desensitization. So you got to collect your mind. I'm going to pull some cards. Like I said, I wasn't really planning on doing it like this, but let's just see what comes out, right? Okay. Aw, on top we have spiritual gifts and good energy. Yeah, good energy. I feel like I should be saying something more about this projection stuff, but I don't know. Someone misses you. You could, well, it wouldn't be you. It says energy vampire, telepathy, energetic transfer. That kind of goes with that. Karmic female, aunt, sister, cousin, friend, ex, codependent, toxic relationship, trauma bond, side piece, Jezebel spirit. Look, if I have one more side piece come up and ask me if I'm okay, is there anything I need help with, or even better, if any other random person comes up and asks me about my money, I'm just gonna kirk out. I don't know, that's so stupid. I've never in my life went up to anybody, whether how long I've knew them or not, and be like, hey, how's your money? You know? Oh, I have more notes from channel messages I want to write. That's right. All right, because there's some stuff. There is some stuff. There's some tea. Let's get to it. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. One of the main messages, they need you to look crazy. Don't take the bait, right? They want you to look unstable. They want you to look crazy. Mentally unwell. It's like the plan of what's going on now, to look mentally unwell or get you incarcerated. So don't get caught slipping, because TikTok, we all know this is about to wrap itself up. So watch out for that. Today is the new moon. The weirdos are going to be out. I don't know why. It's not like the 600th spell's going to work, but let them do what they want, I guess. I don't know. But some of the spells that they might be using on you would be to wipe your memory, block intuition, keep you confused or distracted. So pay attention to your mental state. you're probably being followed because they think you're doing something illegal or nefarious because you're not crawling back to them. These delusional people like have such a huge ego. They don't get, like, I'd rather chop my arm off and be broke than to call them for anything. Like, nope. No, thank you. Look, this is not going to be for everybody. These, if they resonate, awesome. If they don't, leave it. But don't make it your story if it's not. People could be trying to plant evidence, DNA of some sort. Watch out for people trying to lure you places, maybe because they need you in a certain town or area to set you up for some kind of crime of some sort, especially major crimes. So be careful with that. I wouldn't go out of town with anyone right now if I was you. There's a huge emphasis on your relationship status. Look, these people want to know about your money. They want to know about your relationships. And that's the two main things they are trying to block, because one, they want to bind you to themselves. Two, they know you have that abundance ass energy, you know? So they want to keep you single because in their crazy mind, they think they still might have a chance if you are single. So they're going to do everything that they can to get anyone and everyone to stay away from you. But you're likable. And there is divine union coming up. It's like this is a time for soulmates. This is for people who've paid back their karma and came in the wholeness of being on their own, right? You feel complete. And then you meet a partner who has gone through the same journey and done that too. They've come into wholeness. They are complete. They don't need anybody. There's no codependence. They have no karma. You guys unite, and it creates a whole new vibe for the planet that raises the vibration of the collective. So you best believe there are principalities and forces that are trying to prevent this from happening. So, okay. And like these things that are going on, these are the same spirits in different bodies, like for lifetimes. This has been going on eon. The same people, their same partner. There's always some kind of weird love triangle, you know, that relationship that's never come to be, but the people become obsessed. You've been dealing with this for lifetimes, over and over, with these same spirits. So now in this divine union, you break all that. It's done. So it's really important. If you find somebody that you like, hang on to them tight. Okay, what else did I get? Yeah, these unions are projected. Yeah, they're projected unions, and the person and you have been marrying each other. Your lives have been running parallel, right? You've had pretty much the exact same experiences. You may not have met this person yet. If you have, you might not have had enough conversations or got to know them to realize how parallel your lives actually have been going, but you'll see. You'll see what I'm talking about. I wrote, tangled webs we weave in attempts to deceive. It's crazy. Crazy out here, but love and compassion wins. You know, these people are pawns for greater forces. Some may know, most of them probably don't. They're promised fame and fortune, and they're in illusions themselves, you know, of these grand things that there is no actual physical material evidence of ever being or coming into be. But these people are very, very skilled at preying upon people's weaknesses. So if you have a weakness for like any kind of hedonistic lifestyle, they'll capitalize on that. The love of money, property, things like that, or they could try to blackmail you. Shame, guilt, all that kind of stuff, fear to get them to do this stuff. They're just pawns. So it's important that we have compassion, you know, for everybody, and send them love and light. I think that's just about it because on my phone, and it's been 20 minutes already on the timer, but I'll find my computer charger and I'll make a better video, but I just wanted to touch base on this shadow projection and how it's playing out in the collective consciousness, because it is like a huge theme. So if you have somebody trying to convince you that somebody you know is somebody that you're not, like, really take a moment to think for yourself and use your head before you make really silly mistakes. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. Happy new moon. Peace out.